welcome to my channel, or welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Bram. I talk about all things fashion, luxury, lifestyle, shopping, and travel. So if those are things that are interesting to you, I would love it if you would hit the subscribe button and become a member of my growing YouTube family. Okay, so if you hear breathing and stuff in the background, Carol is, I don't know, she's down there and she's doing stuff. So today I had a few things I want to show you guys, some exciting stuff. And other than that, I wanted to talk about just my obsessions of the week. So I have a few vintage obsessions of the week that I wanted to go over with you guys. These are different from like my wish list items. Like it's all one big wish list. These aren't like top on the list, but they're interesting nonetheless. And at some point, I'd love to add every single one of these into my collection if I don't already have something from like, whatever. You'll see. So first, let's talk about some things that I am loving. So today I got another candy ring from my new favorite jewelry company, Rice. I don't know. Again, I have no idea how to pronounce this company. Obviously, this is not sponsored. Otherwise, I would know how to pronounce it, but I don't. So as of now, hopefully one day I can get you guys a coupon code and myself. But for right now, I have no idea. Anyway, I got the beautiful pink and purple ring. I will link the color. I'll link it down below. I'll link it directly to this one if you want to pick this color up. If not, they have like some other beautiful, amazing, gorgeous colors. But this is like a light baby pink with the like lilac on the inside. And I have like multiple colors that I need to get. I'm completely obsessed with this brand in general. And yeah, so this is number 2. I feel like my closet needs like a whole bowl of them, kind of like a candy bowl of just these rings in all different colors. So sick. It's what I need in my life to be happy. You know what I mean? To like walk in there and just have like all of these like beautiful candy colored rings staring at me. So, okay. Other than that, I am wearing, so I remember now why I never really wear these earrings. And it's because I think that I guess if I'm moving during the day, it doesn't really matter, but standing still, you can see that my earring holes are, I think, at different angles, because this one lays correctly, in my opinion, and this one lays to the side. And so, do you see that? Anyway, these are super vintage. I don't know what collection. I'm going to have to put it up here. I've literally had them actually since they came out. This was it was before my son was born. So it was probably, I gauge a lot of things by that. I want to say this was a 2002, 2003, 4 at the very latest. One of those years, Chanel collection. I don't know what collection. I don't remember. I have 2 pairs from that year, I believe, specifically from whatever collection these were. I actually used to have them in even more colors. I kept the white, thank God. I had them in pink, I believe. I'm almost sure I also had them in, I think pink was the color, but you can't really see. Let me do like a little close up. I'll try to do a close up. They have little rhinestones in there. I have not lost any rhinestones. There's a little CC on the stud part. I haven't lost any of the rhinestones, probably because I've literally never really wear them. I might have worn them back then, but I'm glad I held on to them. And then I have another pair that I will show you guys maybe in the next video, but they're like a bigger, more elaborate white plastic pair of earrings. And they were literally probably $200 back then. I couldn't even, maybe not more than 5, I don't think. They couldn't have been. Isn't that crazy? Anyway, so yeah, I'm glad I held on to them, even if they don't lay right on me. Okay, so that's that. Next thing I want to show you guys, which I'm so excited for, because we're going to put it behind us, is you guys are the best. And I've said this before. I'm so thankful for each and every one of you. You have absolutely no idea. All of you that tune in, whether you talk to me or not, whether you comment or not, I'm super thankful. And there's a few of you guys who have reached out and just been like so warm and just like amazing. So I have an amazing subscriber who I can now call an actual friend, and she's amazing. And she got us something to put back there, which I'm excited about. It obviously, she can tell what I like. So we have Harmony Bear. I know it's backwards. Care Bears. This is the Harmony Bear. I think we're going to leave her in her box. But she pointed out, and I think it's so cute, is that the heart on Harmony Bear's stomach looks kind of like the Murakami. I mean, the heart. You know what I meant. The flower kind of looks like the Murakami flower, sort of, right? With all the rainbow colors. Oh, you can't really see her fully, I guess, when she's in the box. But I don't know. For now, we're going to keep her in the box because I like the box. But we might take her out so that her full flower can be like on display. So I'm thinking we don't want to put her directly behind my head because obviously in this part it's hard to see. But I'm thinking, oh, with the box, you know what? I might have to take her out of the box. Okay, let's do that. Hang on. All right, we'll take her out of the box, and that way she can sit nicely on the shelf. But so sweet. Like, you guys, honestly, that was like the most thoughtful thing. I was like blown away by it. And it makes it that much more special. Like, I'm just so sweet. Okay. Sorry, opening the box. Guys, we got her out. Yeah, I think it looks better that we can see all the colors of the flower. Okay, I think we can just cut from back here. Hold on. All right, it's a shame because the box is super cute, but that's okay. I think that out was better anyway. So let's put her, I think we should put her here. Right? So she's like perfectly in the shot. So cute. So Dora, thank you so much. I love it. And you're the absolute best. Thank you. Yes, I love it. Okay. So that is that. I actually have a few more things that I wanted to show you guys, but I didn't bring them with me in here today, but I will get to it in the next video. I don't know. I was like getting ready quickly, and I wanted to get a video up for actually tomorrow, and there were things that I forgot. So anyway, let's get into the video. Carol. All right, let's get into the video. Okay, so these are the vintage, like I said, obsessions of the week. I hope that you could have heard me through all of that. Sorry if it was muffled. Okay, so these are my vintage obsessions this week. All right. And I don't know, I go down a rabbit hole. I literally scroll the Real and Fashion File and eBay and all of that stuff like it is going out of style. I scroll probably every day, and I just look at new pieces and look at new things. And that's kind of, sometimes I'll see people with certain things and I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I actually have a sort of like a high street obsessions coming for you to you. I don't know. I'm going to put it up at some point next week because I have a bunch of really cool things on there that I think that I'd like to link. Like, these things are difficult. We don't really obviously link them. I'll link, I'll link the things that I can. Also, by the way, this is my new, I showed you in a vlog, maybe the last one or the one before, from H&M. It's like a distressed, just like denim shirt. Shacket, is that what it is? Like a shirt jacket? Not a shirt. Yeah, a shacket. It's like a denim shacket, and it's like distressed and has like holes everywhere. So anyway, I'll link all of that stuff below. This is from Zara. But obviously these vintage pieces, like, they're not really like linkable because they're linkable, I guess, but they're not, the links are not going to be good for a very long, people, they come and they go, you know what I mean? Whereas the high street stuff that I want to talk about, or like mid-range stuff that I want to do, probably the next video that I do will be that. I'll be able to link it. And I just think, like, some of the stuff, I think it's really good. And if you kind of like quirky type of stuff like me, then these are things that I think that you should jump on, because I think that they will be back in a big way and then more expensive at some point in the near future. So we're going to do that in a few days. I have a few things coming because I want to show you in person, you know what I mean? I want to show you, like, and I want to tell you about it like as I like feeling the fabrics and all that stuff, but I have quite a few things to show you guys that I'm excited about. So next video, we'll do that. All right. So for today, I have 10 for you. Number 1 is the Chanel Timeless CC Vanity Case. I was actually, I'll give credit where credit is due. I was watching, I follow a creator, YouTuber named Jeranika. And I don't know her last name, Jeranika. If you guys don't follow her, honestly, I love her content. She is all about like vintage archival pieces. And I actually have 2 things on here that I saw on her channel at some point. This one, I believe I saw like just recently, but she has some really cool pieces that I've like fallen down the hole looking for over, I don't know, I've probably been following her for like 6 months. She's a newer person in my like, you know, realm that I follow. So anyway, she has it in 2 colors, and she was talking about the price, and I was like, it's incredible. It also had me like fall down a hole to see other styles. So the Timeless CC Vanity Case is right up here. Obviously, this one is black. She has black and red. Red, I think, is like fantastic. It also comes in other colors. There's yellow, there's pink. You can find other colors. She said the price is going up. You can still find it under $1,000, like on eBay and Vestiaire and The Real, like you can find it. So anyway, I'm loving it as a bag, and oh, just so cute. So it's definitely on my list of something to pick up at some point in time when I find a good price, when I find a good color or whatever. But it's on like the larger forever wish list. It's just, you know, like I said, it's just not one of the top 5 at the moment. And that's kind of how I do things. I try to stick to it, but sometimes things pop up in a good price at a good time and you're like, yep, click, let me get it. So this one is a good one. Before they go up in price, if it's something that you're thinking about, I would jump on it. I love it. Okay, next one is, this is also from her, the Deer Print, I don't even know what this thing is called, Deer Print Burberry Trench. She loves a trench, and so I always find like really interesting trenches on her channel. I don't need a trench. I have a lot of trench coats, to be honest, and obviously I live in a place where I don't need a coat at all. So I think that they're great when I go to New York and it's like, you know, spring or fall or whatever. I always bring a trench. I love like a fun trench coat. But this one, like if you can find it in your size, I don't think it's something that I will end up picking up. I'm just kind of obsessed with how it looks. It also is very hard to find. So if you want to go down that rabbit hole and start like trying to find it, beautiful. When you look for it though, lots of other trenches actually pop up, like on Vestiaire specifically, and you could just go down a whole trench coat hole, you know? But this one I just thought was so cool, so different, and really beautiful, especially now, like we're obviously into the animal print, things like that. Cow print is super big right now. Obviously we saw leopard, we saw zebra, all of that stuff. But deer print, like that's, I don't know, I like it. I like it a lot, actually. It's very like whimsical and like sort of like grown up Disney princess-ish. I don't know. I love it. Okay. Next one is a bag that I had that is on my wish list in general to add back into my collection. It is the Chanel Ice Cube bag, the flat bag. So it comes in multiple, I think there's like 3 different ones in this collection. The flat bag is the classic one. It's the one that I had, and I bought it for $1,200, brand new, back when it first came out, 2007, I believe. I was obsessed with it because Kim Kardashian had it, and that was the time. Like she had just come out, and 2007, 2008, and you know she was it. I mean, I guess she's still it, I guess, but we're so sick of her that it, you know, whatever. But this was when she was like new and fresh, and everyone was like, I just wanted everything that she had, honestly, and this was one of them. And so I got it, and I used it like, you know, I used it for like fancy things that I went to for a lot of years, and it literally sat in the box. And then one day, like an idiot, in this like few year time frame that I sold all my good stuff, I was like, I don't use this and I don't need it and whatever. And so I sold it for, I don't even remember how much. Maybe I made my money back, maybe I don't even know. Now they're going for like 2,000 and change. $2,500, something like that. But one day I will add it back. It is an absolutely beautiful bag if you can find it in good condition. And the other iterations of this bag are also really, really good. So, and it goes with everything. Like now I would wear it with anything and everything, but back then I didn't. And back then again, I had little kids, I had little babies those years. And so it wasn't something that I was like just wearing out. I have refound my like fashion mojo, I guess, since they've been old enough that I can, use things and not worry about like things like falling on me or, whatever. So it's taken a while to come back from that like new mom or mom of toddlers or mom of little kids like slump in terms of like fashion. I mean, I wore comfortable stuff all the time. I had my bags, but like I pretty much wore comfortable stuff because if we were out and I wasn't at work, like we were at the park or we were doing things like that. So anyway, and then wouldn't bring the Chanel Ice Cube bag for those excursions. So on my list, absolutely beautiful and a decent price for a flap, I guess, if you're looking for one. Like it's silver. Silver is like a big thing right now. Anyway, I'm obsessed with just like, I'm loving it and it's beautiful. Okay, next thing. I happened on this because I literally just scroll the RealReal all night long. And the RealReal has some serious treasures and sometimes at like these crazy, ridiculously low prices. There's Marc Jacobs bags from like 2006, 2007 on there for like $85, sometimes even less, honestly. So you can find some amazing deals if you just like put a little effort into it. I am obsessed with the Moschino belt bag and I might actually pick it up. We'll see. But like, oh, I love it. I love a belt bag. I love a belt bag. That. And Moschino is, I love, that is, again, it's that Chanel mid-90s, Moschino, D&G, like that era of fashion. I love, and anything Moschino reminds me of the mid-90s. Big hair, Cindy Crawford, Anna Nicole Smith. You know what I mean? And even though this is not obviously luxury, but it also reminds me of like Guess. What I'm talking about. Like what I'm talking about, right? So anyway, the Moschino belt bag, love it. And I might have to add it. It's a good price, but we'll see. We'll see if I have an unboxing. I'm trying to focus on this one major bag that I have coming and like put my blinders on until it gets here. So, okay, next one is I added this a few weeks ago. I did a vlog on it, all of that stuff. It's my Tony Alamo jacket, the Hawaii jacket that I added. I'm going to throw up the New York version. I told you guys already. I have two collecting obsessions at the moment. Tony Alamo jackets, which I don't know what I'm going to add next. It depends on what comes along at a good decent price. eBay has some really good ones at relatively decent prices. And these freaking candy rings. Like these are my obsessions at this moment. So Tony Alamo jacket, I'm obsessed with finding like the different places that he's made jackets for. So we have in New York, Paris is on the list. Oh my God, there's so many. I've talked about this before. So anyway, obsession of like the month of the last few months has been these Tony Alamo jackets, but I just put it on my weekly thing because that's what we're talking about. So I'm still obsessed with it this week. Next one is the Moschino belt. That's another one that I have been looking at for a while, and you can get some great deals on the RealReal if you can find your size or whatever. There's a beautiful gold one I've been looking at, and I just think like now that I'm back kind of wearing jeans, I don't want to pull the trigger on the belt yet, even though they're not expensive. I mean, you can find one for $100 or even a little bit less, but I want to make sure that I get my correct size. So I'm going to wait on it just for a second until I'm like a little more settled into whatever size I'm going to be. I know that I can add a hole, but I believe it kind of like, it layers. All right, guys, you know who had to say hi. You know who had to say hi. See, say hi to everybody. Say hi. Hi, puppy. I know. I love you. So, you know how she gets. You know how she gets. You know. Okay. Say hi. I know. So, anyway, the way that the Moschino belt looks like it, closes You want to just sit there for a minute? The way that the mosquito belt looks like it closes is like, it looks like it like overlaps. So I believe, I've never actually seen one in person, believe that it like folds behind, it slides behind the part with the mosquito. So I know I'm sure I can add another hole, but then it bulks up the belt a little bit, right? So anyway, I'm going to wait a little bit on that, but I do want one at some point. They have some ones, the base is black, but they have like some candy colored ones, like where the mosquito is written in like candy colors. Like they have some really cute ones. So those are ones that is on my like watch list in general, just so I can kind of, at some point, I'm going to find, I'm going to find one that makes sense for me. All right. Next is the Dior double saddle doctor bag. I don't know what the actual name is for this bag. Trotter, I don't know. I have no idea. No, it's not the Trotter. I don't know. I've had this bag. Oh my God. I have a long history with this bag. This was my first, besides the saddle. Okay. So back in the day when the saddle bag first came out and I was obsessed with it, I've told you this story before. I used to like literally go into the Dior on 57th Street and just stare at it. I was supposed to be in school and when I was in college, I was supposed to be in school, but I would walk to over there and just like stare at this bag. And I loved it so much and I was obsessed with it, but it was $660 and that was completely out of the range of possibilities for me at that point in time. So I don't know if it was a few years later, maybe a year or so later, something like that, I started really focusing on buying things from eBay. So the first bag that I bought on eBay was actually, there was a few Gucci bags in there. One of the first bags, I can't tell you, there was quite a few little things that I picked up at amazing prices on eBay. I now look back and I'm like, they were all fake. They had to be because the prices were so good. I don't know. I think so. I don't have any of them anymore, but I think that they must have been. However, this bag, so I bought it and my mother was like, that's absolutely fake. And I was like, that's not fake, but we didn't know. We didn't know back then, okay? We had no idea. Anyway, I wore this thing into the ground. I had it in the blue and white, like the regular print. And then a few years later, I bought definitely a real one on, I don't know if anybody remembers iOffer. I bought a real one on iOffer and it was like the green khaki print, but it was humongous, like huge. And it was the large size. I had no use for it. It sat in my closet. Finally, I sold it. And then another, I don't know how many years later, I bought another one. And again, I sold it because by the time I got it, it was real. I don't remember where I bought it from. This was probably at least 10 years ago at this point, maybe a little bit more. The way that it closed and stuff was so annoying to me at the time that I got rid of it again. So it's on my list to buy again. Quite honestly, I feel like I'm in a place where I actually will love this bag and use it again. And yeah, so it's on my list again. I absolutely love it. It comes in a bunch of different colors. I am looking for the medium size. I don't want the mini and I don't want the large one. I want it's like this. It's like a medium size. It's a good everyday bag size. And I want it either in the blue or again, that like green khaki-ish color, but one of the two. At some point I'll find it. Again, it's on my like long-term list. I love it. And one day I will add it back into my collection. Next one is anything, quite honestly, anything Dior girly. Do you remember the girly collection? I think it was 2003 or 2004? And it was obviously, if you're watching this channel, you know the girly collection. It was the pink Dior monogram print and it had, so I'm putting up a picture of one that did not have the pearls and the flowers. I like this one. I've seen this bag in blue and I've seen it on pink now from the Real. The blue bag was at my local vintage store and I passed on it like an idiot. I do that. I'm like, I'll think about it. It literally was there for like, I probably went in 3 or 4 times and it was there. And then one day I went in and I was like, hey, can I see it? They were like, oh, it's in the back because they had to switch out the store. They were like, come back in a few weeks. We'll bring it back out. And I was like, okay. So in a few weeks I came back and they were like, it's gone. I was like, oh man. So anyway, that's what happened with that bag. That was in the blue though. But the pink, I'm really liking this one because specifically it doesn't have all of the embellishments. The embellishments turn yellow. So, but I am obsessed with the girly bags. I had a messenger bag. I always wanted the Boston, never got my hands on it. But I did have the messenger bag and I wore it like crazy with the rhinestones and whatever. Some point I sold it because a lot of people, like now it's easy to forget, but there was a point in time, I would say 2010 on, where all of these Y2K bags were very, 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 very out of style. They weren't really classics yet. They weren't just like vintage cool pieces. They were very unpopular. And so you could get a lot of these things for a very discounted price. And when you sold them, you lost money on them. And I fell victim to it. I know better now, but I definitely fell victim to selling a lot of my things that I didn't think would ever come back. And I think as you get older or as you hear stories like, my mother used to always tell me, like, don't get rid of things because they will come back. And I just, you don't listen to your mother. Why would you do that? So anyway, girly bags, if I could find one without the yellowing, but again, they didn't age very well, but I do absolutely love the pink Dior print. So beautiful. And I was like super obsessed with it. Okay, I have two more. Okay, two more and then we're done. She is not happy. You want to go home, huh? We're going to go home. Okay, next one is the Louis Vuitton Papillon. So I talked about this in one of my last videos where we were talking about like my updated wish list, mid-year wish list changes. And I mentioned the Cherry Blossom. That is on my top 3. I absolutely love that bag. I will be adding that to my collection at some point soon. I'm just looking for the perfect one. And after I get this next bag, that's absolutely incredible. So I will be adding that. However, I'm talking about the Papillon in general. I think that it is a super trendy, like it's vintage, but it's trending, the shape right now. You can still get it at a good deal. So if anybody is like in the market for kind of like a different, I think that it is trendy because it's, that east-west, the very like exaggerated east-west, but it's in the barrel shape. It's just super cool and it's different. And I like it in the monogram, which I'm going to put here. I've been obsessed with it in the vernis, which we talked about a few videos ago. I'm definitely want to add a vernis one to my collection. Again, vernis doesn't age well. And so you really have to be careful with which color you're going to get. I'm loving this in like the bronze color. I actually really love it in the green, but the green did not age very well. So I'm looking for like a darker vernis color. It's called the Bedford in the vernis style, but it is the Papillon shape. And anyway, totally obsessed with it. I have like 1 million hearted on eBay. So at some point it'll come home, but yeah, totally obsessed with it right now. Next and last one. This is kind of a wild card because if you know anything about me, I don't love black bags. This, however, I don't know if I've not seen it very often. I don't know what year it's from. I will put it on the screen if I can figure it out. It is the Chanel Paris Moscow flat bag. I remember when it came out. Again, couldn't tell you the year, but I do remember when it came out. And back then I didn't have a weird thing about black bags. So I definitely wanted this bag. I don't know, never really pursued it though. I don't know. I never really pursued it. I didn't have like a dedicated person at Chanel until like later on in the years. And so I don't know if I even knew how to like track this down. I did a lot of shopping from resellers at that time for like certain hard to find things or whatever, but I never got my hands on this bag. I just think it's super cool. It's like, I guess it's the Moscow skyline, which is really cool. It's just a different piece. I have never seen it in real life. I have never seen it like in person in a vintage store. I have never seen anybody wearing it. I have literally never seen this bag like ever. I don't know how many they made. I don't know how many people actually own this bag, but it's one of those like rarities that every once in a while I remember it exists and I'm like, let's check on the Chanel Moscow bag. Like, I just think it's so cool. Like, you're not going to see it coming and going. Again, obviously we know black is not my favorite, but I feel like for this bag, like I would totally, that's fine. I'll take it in black if I have to. And yeah, so again, one of those things that's not in like the top 5, but if I was ever to run into it at a good price, at a good time, she would be in my collection. All right, guys, that is it. Carol is very antsy, as you can see. It is dinner time, so we are going to head home and go feed her and all of that stuff. And yeah, I didn't mention this earlier, but now I will. I've been forgetting my intro, kind of. I kind of like shortened it, and I haven't like gone back. The last few videos I've realized like I don't go into all the stuff that I was going into, so I need to remember that, because a lot of people who start my videos don't last the full way through. I think that's what it is for everybody. But anyway, if you have stayed this far, I appreciate it. I thank you for staying. Thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoyed the video and the content. If you did, I would love it if you would hit the subscribe button. It means the absolute world to me. Thank you for all your support, all of you guys, all the time. You know how much I appreciate it. Next, if you want to hit that notification bell, not the subscribe, yes, notification bell to be notified when I upload videos. I upload videos Mondays through Fridays at the moment, so you will be notified when I do, so you don't miss any of my, very, very important broadcasts. And last but not least, if you did like this video and you stayed this far, a like would be absolutely incredible. You would appreciate it. It definitely helps the algorithm. And very last but not least is, second to last, I'm going to throw up my Instagram handle right here. If you are not already following me over there, I would love it if you would come and follow me, where we do a little bit of more like behind the scenes type of stuff. A lot of Carol and Steven and what else, baby girl? I know. If you have not already seen it, I'm going to leave a video over here in case you want to keep watching. And that's it, guys. So thank you for being here. I would love to know, what are your vintage obsessions at the moment? You know how I feel about vintage. I'm all about it right now. Have you stumbled upon anything recently that you are totally obsessed with, just watching and following, and you have like listings saved all over the place? Or like, what kind of rabbit hole are you going down at the moment? All right, guys. Thank you again, and I will see you guys in the next one.